It is Ashley from Not Just Boxing here with George Groves. George, now on the other side of the area now on media days as a coach. First of all, let's talk about Lucas. How did you come around to meeting him? What made you sign him? And first of all, have him as your first guy?
Yeah, so this is Not Just Boxing.
Not Just Boxing.
It seems like that's all I talk about is boxing.
Oh,
that's all I do is boxing.
That's
what else do we do if it's not just boxing?
See, that's a great joke that Lee Eaton said the same thing. So we sometimes post MMA, and the beauty of it when I first started is the life stories of Not Just Boxing.
Yep.
There's so much more to it, like the diet, the mindset, the way of life, the psychology. It is not just about boxing. When you talk to a boxer like Lucas, you know full well about him. He is clever on so many levels that you have to be so disciplined. Anyway, there's so much around it.
That's still all boxing.
It still is all. It's all around boxing, but there's so many things that gravitate towards.
I'm teasing you.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I'm now former fighter, but manager and trainer of Lucas Roehrig. Cruiserweight prospect. I think he's one of the best prospects in world boxing, and I do not say that lightly. He's 1-0, making his second pro outing on the Adam Nazim card, February 1st. So that's what we're here today for the press conference of that. And things are good. Things are busy. We're in the gym almost every day. You know, he's back to gym life. You know, for me as a retired fighter, you know, people go, "Oh, you must be bored," and no, I'm not. You know, like I've got plenty going on. So it was a big decision for me to change it up and commit to the gym. But Lucas Roehrig is worth that. He is a special talent, a very, very, very special talent. So someone who I've got to know over the years through coaching at Dale Youth, my amateur boxing club. He was a fighter down there. I see him on a Sunday morning. And
was Sunday morning sparring day?
Sunday morning. So Sunday morning, I go down there. We're in Notting Hill, so we go to Hills. I'll beast them on the hills, and then we get back and I'll pad them. Sometimes they'll spar, but we just give a bit of pads. And then for me, I've got to learn on the job, because you can't teach fighters who are only fighting 3-minute rounds how to run the course of a 12-round championship fight. So I felt like I learned a lot, and I loved it. And always said to the guys, anyone wants to turn pro, you know, first of all, I'll tell you whether you can, whether it's a good idea or not. And if it is, if I can help in any way, pass over a contact, give you a shout out, a bit of advice, free advice, then I certainly will. But then when Lucas got to the point where he wanted to turn pro,
what made him want to turn over at that point? Was there anything that happened at the end of the last amateur season, or was he just like, I'm ready, I want to start?
I think he's ready. He's more than ready. So let's get if you're not ready to turn pro, then you stay amateur. And if you are ready to turn pro, but there's an Olympics coming up that might add value to your pro career, or obviously to go to an Olympics is an incredible thing that might hold you on. But he missed out on selection. He was at the wrong weight class. He was at 86 kilo, which I don't believe has an Olympic category in it for boxing. So, and now there's we're up in arms whether there's going to be boxing at the next Olympics. So his style was built for pro boxing, and he's ready to make that challenge. I turned professional at 20 when a couple of my pals stayed on to 2012. One of which was Luke Campbell. He won a gold. Another one was Anthony Ogogo, who won a bronze medal. No one can ever take that away from them. They've done fantastic things to win a medal for themselves and obviously for their country. But for me, I was like, I just want to turn pro. The dream is to become a world champion as a pro. And 4 additional years as an amateur, when I missed out on a chance to go to Beijing, did make sense. And I think Lucas felt the same. He wants to take over the world as a professional and hit the ground running. So we've worked extremely hard in the gym from from maybe February, March, April last year. Made his debut in December, so we didn't rush nothing. And now we're just going to keep him busy as much as possible. So 6 weeks on from his debut, he's going to be fighting again.
Let's just talk about that debut as well, and especially the opponent, former English champion. I know John McIntyre, he's from our neck of the woods, but that is, for a debut fight, that is a risk. That is a big risk. It doesn't matter how good you are as an amateur, there is an element of risk there where I know so many people, he can bang, and one punch can change everything. So it must show the faith you had in him for that as a debut fight.
No, absolutely. I mean, he was doing everything I asked of him in the gym. He was putting the quality work in the sparring. and speaking to boxing heads, I was like, I've been offered McIntyre. What do you think? And they're like, I've seen him in the gym, and if you believe he beats McIntyre, great. But for a debut, anything can happen. He could be nervous. He could get the weight a bit wrong. He could just, the occasion could get too excited. He could get caught. Anything could happen. But I had courage in him and belief, and to a certain degree, selfishly thinking, if something goes a bit peaked on, I'm the culprit. It's me. I'm the one it was my debut that night as well. I was the first time I was leading a corner as a pro, and I'm the manager. I've picked the opponent, but shout out to John at TM40 and the guys at Nielsen Boxing who put the show on, and I said, look, I want someone with a winning record. I want someone who's going to come and ask a few questions, and they threw me Joel McIntyre, and he said, you might say no, but I was like, I know Joel. There's a comfort in, I've seen him, I've sparred him, which I had forgotten about actually.
How long ago was that?
It was definitely while I was still boxing at super middleweight. I think he was a light heavyweight at the time. But someone who I knew was game, dangerous, someone you can't necessarily relax on or sleep on, who will cause you problems. And it makes a statement. So I think it ticked every box. And Lucas went out, stuck to the plan, worked the jab correctly, took no free shots, beat McIntyre up with a jab, and then started landing those big right hands and body shots and everything else. Cut him early in the fight, and McIntyre couldn't come out for the 4th round. So, McIntyre, it's weird talking to people who are not necessarily from boxing, but it's like, he come to win. They're like, doesn't everyone come to win? It's like, most guys who win their debut, the guy they're fighting knows they're not there to win. McIntyre 100% came to win, and maybe not every fight will be like that for Lucas, but I feel like it just made a massive statement off the bat. It's like, this guy means business, and that's what boxing is. Like, boxing's an emotional sport. You're there to tell a story, and if you can tell a story, people will engage with you. Do you know what I mean? He knows that. I know that. I always try to tell the story, and this is the Lucas Roehrig story now. And we want to get everyone on board. Come on the journey. So everyone who came to that debut, it wasn't like, oh great, yeah, I'll see you later, and off you go. There was an aura around him. People were people were staying on. People were asking pictures. People we didn't know. People who were just like, they were there for the next fight, and they're like, wow, this could bloody good. Everyone's raving about him, and rightly so. He's gone out there and he's got a great performance. So, from the small halls of Harrow Leisure Centre, now he's in the Wembley Arena. We'll go up and down, and we'll just stay busy. But I encourage everyone to jump on this journey, because I try to take people on a journey with my career and tell the stories and engage and create drama, and that's what boxing's about. And this is the next one to get behind, because his story will be even better than mine.
I love being around fighters at the start of their journey. I love being able to just watch it from afar and just sort of be around it. So yeah, I'm very excited for Lucas. And in terms of this year, how many fights are you wanting for it? I know in a perfect year, are you talking maybe 5 fights this year?
No, as many as we can get. At the moment, he's promotionally free. So
okay,
we're talking to all the promoters, and I want the promoters, for a while in Ben Shalom on the stage there said, I've reached out to everyone at Sky and Boxing, and I have done, because ultimately they haven't seen what I've seen.
I rate that.
I rate this guy, so I'm there that's my job. And don't, you got to do that your whole life. I was challenged for 3 world titles and failed every time, and still had to beat the drum for myself to make sure that I got that next step and that next opportunity. So I'm doing that now for him, but we just want to be busy. As 6 weeks on, if he fought every 6 weeks, he could fight every week if we had the opportunity to. I think at this point, the promoters sooner or later will be like, we want to have him on our card, so that when he does make it in the future, you can say, yeah, I had him on this card. And I hope that Sky see the value in that, and boxers see the value in that, and having Lucas Roehrig now part of this, his popularity will always grow. We're going to try and grow him so that there's a massive support coming for him each and every time he boxes.
We'd love to come to the gym as well and film some of his training, if that's all right.
Absolutely, yeah, whenever. Yeah, and this is the time when he can get away with it. Yeah. When he starts challenging for titles, he'll be tired. Yeah. He'll be hungry. He'll be busy, and it's hard to do those media commitments. But right now, as a newbie pro, all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. So.
And what I love about you being an ex-fighter is all the experience, not just teaching him the boxing aspect. That's the easy bit. You know, all of the experience that you're going to guide him through. It's going to be so beneficial. What you can offer as a coach, not many coaches can offer because you've been there.
I hope so. I mean, so a lot of elite level sports coaches, managers, football managers even, like, they didn't always play and perform at the highest level, right? But they have something else that gets them there. So I've got to be like, yeah, I climbed Everest as a boxer. I got to the top, but I'm still humble enough to know that, wow, I still need to invest. It's not my way or the highway, and there's still so much for me to learn. I work with a variety, an array of different coaches, both amateur and pro. I've been all around the world boxing different opponents. But I'm still nowhere near the finished article of my boxing knowledge, and if I get the opportunity to mix and learn from someone else, I always will. I always will.
Have you done much shadowing as a coach with anyone else?
Not yet.
No.
Not since becoming a coach, you know. But I'd love to get an invite out somewhere.
Even when you take him sparring, right? Picking the brains when you're there.
Exactly. So we try and have a good rapport with everyone, and, you know, sometimes we ain't been invited back, but we don't take it personally. It's not because we didn't take our shoes off on the way in. I think it's because he's a little too hot to handle sometimes, and we don't always need that work come back at him. But so when I say this is what it feels like in the changing room, that's not me guessing, that's me. I've been there, I've done it. You know what it feels like after the first round, when your legs are more tired than they should be, or when you've had a fucking shit round, or when you've been buzzed, or when you've buzzed the guy and you think he's gone but he ain't quite done it. It's not me watching and assuming what it feels like. That's me saying this is what it feels like. He'll have that all to come, you know, in terms of reaching and experiencing those things for himself. But it's nice for him right now to say, well, for me to say, this is how I felt. This is what to expect. So I'm not going to mollycoddle him or hold his hand too much, and I leave him to get on with it. But at the same time, if I can help in any way, I always will.
Definitely, and everyone that's listening, tune in 1st of February. Yeah. Just a couple other things I just want to touch upon. We've got the Ring Magazine Awards this Saturday night. Who would you say is the male fighter of the year and female fighter of the year of 2024?
Of everyone?
Of everyone, yeah.
Alexander Usyk, really? Alexander Usyk. It got to be the male fighter of the year. And female fighter of the year, I'm not sure, really. I'm not sure. I know Kate Taylor is always in and amongst it. She's probably won it more often than anyone else. So I wouldn't know about the women. I haven't seen enough of the women's boxing. But men, you should probably go. You're hard pushed to go against Usyk, who I think did a better job than, say, Beterbiev did against Bivol or Obertayes. You know, today, like an hour ago, retained his title on a Wednesday in January, which ain't nice. You know, he's been fantastic.
Did you see that knockout?
No, not yet. But I saw one quick clip. Looked like you had a free shot, and that's the last person you want to get. It was
they both just came out swinging. It was a brilliant fight. I think David knew he wasn't going to go the distance with him.
Sounds like one to watch.
And then lastly, obviously everyone's talking about Fury Joshua. Two things. One, do you think Joshua should have a tune-up fight to come back from the Dubois loss first, or do you think he should go straight back in? And two, is that the fight we need to see this year? Is that the biggest fight of British boxing?
I don't think either one would have a tune-up fight. I don't think that really makes sense. I mean, you always want a tune-up fight after a loss, but it won't make sense commercially. And I like the fight. I'm up for the fight. I think it's still a good fight, a great fight, and it might settle the score on who was the best British heavyweight of this era. And
who do you think that is?
All to play for. Who's the best heavyweight of this era?
British heavyweight.
Yeah, British heavyweight of this era. I don't know. You know, for so long it was Joshua, then it was Fury. Now it's like, who was it? You know, if you racked up their wins, maybe you go Joshua. But it depends on how much you value the Wilder wins. I don't know. That's why I want to see him fight.
Mm-hmm. And lastly, one more thing, sorry. Who would you say right now, besides your guy Lucas? Who would you say right now, besides your guy Lucas, is the best prospect in England? Is there any standout guys?
I mean, Adam Azim's a fantastic fighter, whether you want to still consider him a prospect. Moses Atalma, it's hard to go past Moses Atalma, wouldn't you, at 19 years of age.
Do you think he's going to go all the way?
Yeah, he'll certainly go all the way. Yeah, I think Moses Atalma, his win the other week out in Saudi was incredible. You know, cool, calm, collected. He can make those improvements. I hope he does, where he's going to be unstoppable. So yeah, Moses Atalma.
Brilliant. Well, George, thank you for your time, mate, and I'll see you in the gym soon.
Nice one. Cheers, mate.